In this video, I want to look at the situation where I have two terms that I know are in a GP, and the term in between them is unknown, and we're trying to find what that term is. So if we're told that this is a GP, I should probably write that down, but this is a geometric progression or geometric sequence. What value could we have for x here? Now, the logic behind a question like this is in what we know about GPs. In GPs, we know that each term is generated by multiplying by some common ratio. And in this case, we don't straight away know what that common ratio is. We know, though, that 2 times whatever our common ratio is, my x term that I don't know, if I times that again by the common ratio, I'm going to get to 32. So it follows that if I wanted to get from 2 to 32, I'd have to multiply by r squared, that is times r and then times r again. So while I don't know what x is and I don't know what the common ratio is, what I do know is that 32 divided by 2 has to be equal to the common ratio squared. Okay? And we can solve this and find what r has to be. So 32 divided by 2 is 16. I'm actually going to write the equation around the other way because that's what we're usually used to seeing, the pronumerals on the left. Now here I'm going to take the square root of 16, and we're going to have to put a plus or minus sign out the front there. So I'll come back to what that's going to do for us, but we do need to put that on there whenever we take a square root. Square root of 16 is 4, so my answer is plus or minus 4. Now plus or minus 4, that means there's two answers. There's 4 and there's also negative 4. So what this is saying is r, the common ratio, could have two different values. It could be 4, but it could also be negative 4. And there's actually no way of determining which it has to be in this situation unless they were to give us some more information. So if r is 4, then I have this as my geometric progression. Okay, and x I'm going to get by going the term in front of it times the common ratio. It's going to be 8. Okay. If instead I have r is negative 4, then the sequence x is going to be found by doing 2 times negative 4, and I'm going to get negative 8. So there are two possible values that could go in where x is 8 or negative 8. And the reason that there's two possible values is from what we saw on our previous question. In our previous question, we saw that when you've got a negative common ratio, the terms tend to oscillate like this. They go positive, negative, positive, negative. Same deal here. We don't know whether the common ratio is positive or negative, so we don't know whether the x here has to be a positive 8 or a negative 8. So if it's the negative option, then the next term after that would be a negative, and the next one would be positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. If the common ratio is 4, then the terms are just going to be positive, 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 all the way along. And there's actually no way of determining which, so for this question, you have to give both of these answers as possibilities. So we could say at the end here, therefore, x equals 8 or negative 8. So that's how we find an unknown term in a geometric progression.